It's an attitude, a motivation, a deep-seated spirit. It's an inner strength to keep your feet planted firmly on the ground, no matter what presses against you. It's self-confidence. It's belief. It's a way of life. It's Physique Athletics. Shop now at www.physiqueathletics.com to get your fitness gear now. Conquer your physique.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you listen to us at. This is the Men of Honor Podcast, episode 8, sponsored by Physique Athletics. I'm Javon, aka Rock, and I got my brothers, my brethrens here with me today. Got Frank, Greg, and Eric, aka E. How y'all doing today, fellas?
I'm good. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, man, to wake up every day.
Hey,
comfortable.
I see you.
With a.
All right.
You already ate your chicken wings, man, and drunk your beer? You good?
I mean, I had some Filipino food tonight, so today was a good day. So we good.
Yeah, some lumpias, huh?
Sure did. Sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Had me some adobo chicken. It was good.
So, a question I've been getting is, like, what does the Men of Honor mean, and where did it come from? I know we was talking about this at our pre-production meeting. It came from what, Frank? Like we started the fantasy basketball league between us, right? Like,
yeah, it was about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
we've been doing this.
It's been a while.
Like 10 years ago, yeah. Like we had a fantasy league, and like I guess I was just trying to come up with a name, and I'm like, thinking of names. And I'm like, man, like when we on the court, like it's it's an honor to play with with everybody, and I was like, what about Men of Honor, like and so I just like, all right, Men of Honor, that's the name, and then ever since then we just been going with it, since then.
Yeah. But we done had fantasy leagues every year for that time frame, right? And I know E won one, Greg won one.
No, I won two. I won two. Whoa.
Please let's not start this on a bad note. Let's just move on.
That's the one E forfeited, right?
Let's just not start this on a bad note.
I mean, like some would say he didn't even win one, but that's a whole other thing, please.
We might as well even talk about your.
Yeah, I mean, let's let everybody know, like this fantasy league that we play in, we don't even play for money, but like in the beginning, we didn't play for money, and it was still seriously competitive. But then, like when we started to add money into it, it just went to a whole nother level, and to this day.
We like this was the first year with money. We had to.
No, this is technically the second year that we added money to it. This is the second year that we added.
We had a layoff. Remember,
we had like a 6-year layoff with no money,
and then we did. We did one with money.
But we had to excommunicate.
First year we started it. The first year was money, and now this year.
Yeah, we had that 1 year where E and Frank had got into it over the test match.
No, that was the best.
I remember that. That wasn't that year.
I was at work, and I get a call. I get a call from E.
That was
like, yo, man, he
think
he can just do what he want.
He
think he just do what I want.
We played for money.
That wasn't that league. That wasn't that year.
Yeah, it was.
That wasn't, because Don and them was in that league. Remember? Don was in that league.
No, Don wasn't in it at that time.
No, I'm saying for the money league, Don was in it.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
the first year.
But the other one, that was, as I was saying, we wasn't even playing for money, and it still got like that.
Yeah, that was the best. I remember putting in waiver claims for E's whole roster. That was awesome. I was mad when you put him back. I was like, look, he dropped him. He dropped him. Leave him alone.
No, the other set, the one with Dink, did a fire sale, and I wake up. I'm like, hold up, who got?
Yeah, but you know what the messed up thing about that was? Me and Pete did good like straight deals for it, and then like guys Rock doing like Carl Laundry for the
Blake Griffin.
He had it for like LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, and then you like, So me and P did real deals, and we were thinking like, okay, we did real deals, and we looking at these deals, and then you just reverse them all. We like, nah, what? Like, yo.
Sam Dallenberg for LeBron or some shit.
Y'all was drawn. I was like, hold up, man. But yeah, this I be telling people, they be like, why don't you do it for money? I said, if you only knew about our league, how competitive it is without money.
This year was tamer without money, but I think there was two reasons for that. I think guys were just like a little bit more scared because they didn't want to be the guy that traded and gave away the league, and two, certain teams didn't have their partner in crime to help keep them funnel them players.
Exactly. You didn't have your partner. You didn't have your partner. You like tell the truth, Greg. You didn't have your partner. You didn't have your partner, Greg.
You didn't.
Tell him blood is thicker than water, right, Greg? Blood is thicker than water. We always say, right, Greg? Blood is always thicker than water.
All right, let's not get this into a fantasy thing because we can go on for hours about that, as people can see. Let's just end it with.
He's branded. I'm sorry.
Greg's cousin.
It's a very serious league, and people have threatened to show up at people's houses for trades and acquisitions and things like that.
Go on vacation with lobsters, Greg.
No, shrimp po' boy.
Hey, man, business deal, man.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is like, boys don't want to do trades, and then it's like they do good in the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden, like they hit this wall, and then they're like, "Dang, do I really want to do a trade, or do I want to do a trade?"
Yeah.
No, you know what the worst is when somebody wants to do a trade, and you like, "Okay, yeah, let's do that trade," and then instead of them just doing the trade, they go, "Wait, well, why do you want them?"
Like, that's
Bruh, like you trying to trade them. Like
what's worse is you trying to do a trade, and then somebody tells the other person not to do a trade because they want that person. Boy. Woo, man. Who does that? Woo.
The guys are smiling and laughing.
Boy. Who does that?
All right, so
boy.
Eric Asano.
Dude, right there, boy. I'd like to know that name.
Let's get into what Men of Honor mean. Like to me, and I put this on our group chat that we have. It means a person that's humble, original, noble, observant, and has respect. And we all exemplify that. I believe that's why we're brothers the way we are. I mean, we said this in other episodes from the beginning. I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia. Frank is from San Diego, California. Greg, Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia, via New York. And we met in Philly, because my dad was stationed out there in Philadelphia. Frank's dad was stationed at Willow Grove. He came along because he was stationed out Willow Grove with his situation. But we all met playing ball, on the base. Oh well, not on the base because I met Greg and them at Mason Mills when Dink caught my shot out the air. But we ain't gonna talk. But long story short, we all met playing ball. I don't know. And it's what I be trying to think about, fellas, is like, how did we actually start playing together? I don't even remember us. Frank, we met him.
Me and you used to play on the base, and then, like with Greg and them, they would hit me up because with Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Greg and them from the base. First of all, like I played against them multiple times, and then my dad was like, asking them like where they play at. They go play, pick up whatever.
Yeah.
And Greg and Dink and them was like, yeah. And then like, but we never exchanged numbers or anything like that. But my other friend, Mike Duncan, he actually knew them. He always actually went to high school with them. So then like when I was chilling with him, hanging out with him, that's when they were like, Frank, you want to come? So then we started playing, and then they're like, we started playing, and then me and you used to play on the base housing, and then I was like, yo, you got to come play with us, because then we have like a legit 5, because it was always like 4 and we always missing somebody or something like that, so we always had somebody to plug in. And then once we got all 5 together, it was like, yo, when we playing again.
I remember the first time meeting E because where were we? We were at some court and we said we were going to another court, and all of a sudden all I hear is, "I'm following you," and I'm like, who is this dude? Like, so we drive all the way over to Ben Salem, and sure enough, he's behind us. We play. He's like, y'all gotta let me know the next time y'all playing. I'm running with you guys. Yeah. That was like one of the first times I remember it. Yeah, I was like, this dude crazy. All right.
The white jet.
Yeah.
Oh, here come.
It was the white jet and the white Benz.
Yeah. Yeah. Those days was crazy though. I mean, like the word Medal of Honor, it was just an honor to play with a group of people that I basically, grew up through, high school, college. You know what I mean? Like you don't have those set of friends where, you play basketball with that long, that really stick together. We ask people, it rarely happens. People always come and go, like, or some people they pick up somebody else, but we actually stayed together for a long period of time. We played through the suburbs, through Philly, different leagues, and people were like, yo, who are you guys? Every time that they played us, they're like, where you guys from? How you know each other? And it was like, Greg and them was like, 3 years ahead of me, 4 years ahead of me. Rock was like, yeah. So it was like, and it was crazy because it was like, I was the young kid, you guys were the older guys, and it was just an honor to play with a group of guys that I could actually, had fun with, and I grew up with you guys. You saw the different changes, and it was just an honor to play with you guys.
100 times and we not say nothing about it, stuff like that.
What is that?
Shoot the ball 100 times and we not say anything about it.
That was later though. That's when y'all guys got older, so it was like I had more of the part.
Wow, he used an age. You used an age.
I was
like,
great.
Wow.
I was Pat. Rock was used to take all the shots in the beginning.
Yeah.
He used to go behind E, and then remember I came in when it was like I guess when we was like either you guys were off or when the games got close, I was like, all right. But otherwise than that, like it was as when you guys got older, I was like, all right, I gotta do more.
Hey, we got older, like we
crawling. We just came.
Yeah, like Frank.
You got walkers.
My wheelchair. Hold on.
It actually changed. I think like my senior year actually changed. That's when I was like, all right, I don't think nobody gonna hold me. I think that's when it changed.
Well, and that's what I wanted to speak on. Like we all played high school ball.
Not all of us.
You didn't play high school ball, Greg?
No, I played in college. I didn't play in high school.
So majority of us played in high school.
Well, JUCO.
This coach was crazy. I heard about him. I think he coached Will Chamberlain, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
But I can't even put that on him. That was my bag. Like I had like ninth grade, I had made the team, and they wanted me to come in on Christmas break, and like I didn't even tell my mom or dad I tried out. It was just like I'll just try out. And they called me. They were like, "Yo, we like you. We want you in a program. Like, you just got to come in on Christmas break and start practicing." And my response was, "Nah, like I'm tired. I gotta get some sleep. Like I'm not listening." So and like real rad. Like I never told my mom about it till like years later. Like 10 years later, when I told her, she was just like, "Why didn't you tell me? I would have made sure you went." I was like, "I know. That's why I didn't tell you." Like you know what I mean? Like it was one of those like, and that. I tell my kids like that's like my biggest regret because I have no idea what's name. Like for me to walk onto a JUCO and never play organized ball and be able to play and compete and like eventually start because talent. I didn't, and I'm not bragging, but like I never went on a court when it felt I didn't belong, and no matter what level, what's name. So to me,
that's the crazy part. I mean, you're like 6'4", 6'5", right?
No, I'm only 6'2", 6'3". Like
look, I mean, back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scratch arms, strong arms. That's all.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. You're like an Odom, Scottie Pippen type of guy, where like, and you're left-handed, so it was like you hit everything. So it was like you played D, you could shoot, you could rebound, and it was like we needed that because that was that mismatch.
Yeah. That was what's name, man. Like it's what's it, I honestly say, like, if you ask my kids, they'll tell you I told them all the time. That's my biggest regret. So like that's why I tell them, like, yo, just go hard, whatever you do.
And see, that's the thing that I think we all try to instill in our kids. We all have some type of form of regrets when it comes to not just life, but basketball. Yeah, and you know, and we all, all our kids are playing various sports or whatever. I know your kids are a little older, but and that's what we try to preach to them. Like, you want to go hard, you want to do the best you can and leave it all out there and don't have any regrets. If you got to get up and go practice at 6 a.m., get up and go practice at 6 a.m. because you don't want to look back when you 35, 40 saying, man,
what if?
You
gotta chase. That's what I said to my son all the time. So you gotta go chase it, man. I said it's not gonna come knocking on your front door. You know what I mean? Yep. It's not gonna be on a plate here for you. Like, you gotta go get it every single day. So I was like, you don't wake up with that passion like I did. Like, it's not gonna come. You gotta go chase it, man. You gotta go chase it.
Yep. Hey, you wanna jump in there on the Men of Honor? This is
the reality is, man, we've all played together, like you said, for a good minute, and I came in on the back end of after you guys been playing for a while. So just to piggyback off of what Greg said, I guess you can call me the journeyman of the crew because I was the oldest of all y'all. So I kind of just played, I got in where I fitted in, and I just played. I just did what I had to do to play. All I wanted to do was, I didn't have any JUCO experience. I played maybe 1 year of high school. I didn't have I tried to go out and play for high school, but I felt like I didn't get my fair share for my high school. I felt like my coaches really didn't give me the opportunity like I wanted to. So, but that's another story for another time. But I don't regret anything other than that. But I played the times that I have played. I feel like the experience that I have, I could have probably went to play college ball and more than anything else. But I'm content with where I'm at as far as basketball. What I've done in basketball. We played, won many basketball championships out in street ball. I know me, you, Frank, Greg, we've all got plenty of action up in Philly. We got plenty of action up in, all the courts up, around the Philly area. So, like, to me, us playing the way we did and what we had accomplished throughout all the bases and throughout all these different neighborhoods that we played, I was cool with that. Now, whether or not the rest of the people that we played against liked us or not, I really could give a damn. But as far as the honor of it all, yeah, it's cool when you play with guys that you've been knowing and seeing and growing up with and see. I got a chance to see all you guys grow up and guys mature and come up with your own and walk your own ways of life and become grown men and be family men now and have kids and you know see life in a different circle now and also able to play basketball. So that was really something cool for me to see. So I think that is my honor to see that more than anything, to see all of you guys be family men and have your own families now. And when I first met you guys were all young men and coming out of high school or just coming out, coming into your own and still young. I was older than y'all, so I was still coming out. I was just getting in. I was married, but older than y'all. Then still, y'all was just doing what y'all doing now or had already had done. So it was a little bit more different for me back then. So it was cool, and I was able. And I'm glad I was able to be there. And in some form, I felt like I played some sort of a role in where you guys would see what I was doing on my end and be like, all right, well, this is what you're not going to do. And this is what you're going to do if you're going to go this route. And in that way, you guys saw a different light of certain things. And and that was also my way of showing you guys certain things. I know Mr. Frank he always tapped me on the show. Hey, E, you make sure my boys are always good out there. He wouldn't say my boys as in Frank. He did my boys as in y'all. He always talked about all of us being his boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I felt as an honor to be a part of that, to be like he looked at me as that person to be the one to watch, to make sure that we all were good. Even though I'll tell you, I would be the last person he wanted me to be the one to be that person. But you know what? It is what it is, because I was just as rambunctious as all you guys were.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Frank, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if any one of our parents, because Greg, I know your mom and your dad, you know, God rest. So I know your mom would come to the games, your sister would come to the games, and like that. But you know, Mr. Frank, if we had a game, it don't matter where it was at. Like
He was there.
he you know, I remember me, you, Frank, and McCoy played in the N1 tourney down
Mm-hmm.
right there out in the rain. There, I mean,
Yeah.
my pops and mom came later, but you know, he was there, man, cheering us on. You know, we was having bad games or whatever.
Even the hoop it up joint too, right?
Yeah, he was down there.
Yeah, he was pretty much. I can honestly say Mr. Frank was probably at every tournament game that we had, whether it was Hoop It Up, base tournaments,
Yeah.
you know, and one tournaments. He was there. At least I saw him there. I mean, I don't remember how anybody else, because I wasn't looking. I was really paying attention, but I would look around the crowd. I always see Mr. Frank. I see he's there. I see him. I would damn sure would see him. But you know, that was, you know, the question was asked about the whole honor thing. Well, that's you know, that was my honor to see y'all do what y'all had to do, and here we are now. So.
Yep, here we are now. You know, 20 plus years later, brothers for real, brothers for real, man. All right, so let's jump into a topic, and I guess we wanted to start this off because, you know, a lot of places are starting to go to this green status or whatever. I mean, I know here we're still going to stay yellow for a little bit longer. But I guess, like, what are y'all doing through this free time? Greg, I know you're an essential worker, so you really haven't experienced called free time. But, you know, just give out some things you've been doing and focusing on ways that's like starting a new business, you know, focusing on your businesses or whatever. Like, let's just give some doing.
I've taken up trading stocks.
Good.
Got a smoker, so I can start learning how to smoke, do more like real barbecue. Trying to think other than that, like, really, I don't have that much free time because it's work and like kids and everything, and my wife's still working, so we didn't have that lull that unfortunately a lot of Americans had, where they can do like a whole bunch of home products and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's been business as usual. So like my vacation time is what it's going to be for me to get projects done and all that. It's not.
That's when the quarantine gonna start.
Let's point out though, Greg, you in essential work, like you're actually getting up and leaving your house and going out every day. Like, you know, the same with you. I know you're getting up and leaving leaving your house every day too. Frank and myself, we kind of, you know, had the luxury of being at home, but you know, so I want to give a shout out to you guys, especially because I know you guys are putting yourselves out on the front line, but you know, but that's good, man. E, what you been doing, E?
No, man, I've been working, man. I'm shorthanded at my job, so all I've been doing has been I've been blessed to be working the whole time through this whole pandemic. So that's the first thing, and then the second thing is, honestly, I'm with Greg. I've had no time off at all. I don't even post on Instagram like I used to as much anymore. Because I get up. My only thing, if I changed anything, would be my workout schedule, because I used to go to the gym more, but because of course they closed my gym, so now I go to the park and I do my workouts at the park, which is probably the only difference I've had during this whole pandemic. Once they were allowing us to go to the park and work out, that's where I spend most of my time now, which is I felt has played more of a part, has done more for me than the actual gym has, because I lost more weight going to the park and doing my workout at the park than I was going to the gym. So
Ain't you on
that's
green now though?
oh yeah. Well, we're on phase two. I guess you could call that
Or
yellow for you guys. So
Mm.
phase three for us will be, I think, in another week from now. Right next Friday, where I think we fall into phase three. But but right now, um, based on with all the protesting that's going on in our region,
Mhm.
um, considering the protesting that's been going on in our region, I'm quite proud to say our numbers are low, and 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 there's been a lot of protesting that's been going on in this part of Virginia. Now, Northern Virginia, which is the Fairfax County area, Prince William,
DC.
all in DC area, I don't
Yeah.
know those numbers up there. Those numbers are different than the numbers down in our region. So I can't tell you what those numbers are. On this end, Southampton, Hampton Roads area, we're not doing that bad. But I know a lot of people are going to the beach. So with that being said, with people going to the beach a lot, that may change here the next couple of weeks. But as of right this moment, um, we're not doing too bad as far as the numbers with possibly going into phase three. Now, if we go into phase three, that means that everything's going to reopen again, and then we'll have full blown status, for almost 100% of everything. Because we're at 30% at the gyms now, 50% at the restaurants. So
So hold on, the gyms have opened back up where you
yeah,
at
we're
though.
open at the gyms. We're at 30% though. We're at 30% capacity. We're not
Now,
at
are you gonna go to the gym? Because I know
No,
for
I have
me,
not.
if it,
The gym opened up on I think the 3rd of June. They opened up on the 3rd, I think it was, and I have not been into the gym yet. I haven't touched
no,
the
but I
gym
mean, or
since.
do you want, or like, are you gonna go? Like, is that one
Oh,
of your
oh yeah.
plans to
I
go?
think I think I will. I think I will go to the gym because I waited. This is like the second week the
You
gym
want
has
you
opened.
want to see the numbers first.
Yeah,
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 Delaware
I do.
opened up. I was thinking about taking that ride to Delaware. I'm like,
Yeah. I want to see. I'm like with you, Greg. I want to see what the numbers look like. I want to see how everything works. Now, there's a gym out here called Blink Fitness. They're like the new gym on the block, and they showed literally on Facebook how they're cleaning the equipment and what they're doing to cleaning the equipment. How they're systematically cleaning the equipment every 30 or 45 minutes. I haven't seen that from Planet Fitness. I don't know how their cleaning schedule or what their regimens are. Maybe it's on their Facebook. I'm not saying that I don't, but
Man, I'm
I,
sticking with
I
my garage workout, man.
right,
So they
right.
got it
And I
this
had my
week. Like,
garage when I had my
I'm
garage
just
working,
sticking
and
with that.
man,
I'm content with my park too because I like going to the park. It's
Yeah.
open. And
Mhm.
I don't have to do a whole lot. Worried about being around everybody. But the day is going to come where it's going to rain, and then if I have to go anything, then I have my garage, like you said. But I mean, it may be a time where I may go back into the gym, but right now I'm gonna wait a little bit more.
How many pounds are you down, E, since you started gym?
I was February of last year when I went to Fashion Week in New York. I was at 240.
Okay.
I'm at 207 pounds right
Okay. That's good.
uh,
Real good. It's real good. All right, Frank, what about you? What you spending your free time on, bro?
man, so many. I mean, most of the time it's mostly the physique business, just getting ready for the fall right now, trying to get some fall product lines. Just trying to add new supplements as well.
Hmm.
I just added the new flex joint, the Ultra Flex joint, PM recovery, and the new Night Night, which is pretty much like a melatonin to help help people sleep at nighttime.
Yeah.
So I just added those. Those probably be added next Friday. So I've just basically been, just doing physique business. Thinking about doing my patio in the next like 2 weeks. So that's another project coming up. So that's about it, really much, man.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Itching to get back in the gym. That's about it.
Well, I mean, I want to get back in the gym too, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's until these numbers go down, bro. I'm content with the home
I,
workout.
I only can do so much, and I'm like, man, like, all right, like,
Yo, you know
all
what
my
I
friends, like,
found?
all my buddies, like, they getting access to like these private gyms. I'm like, man, like,
That's what we need to do. We need to get our money up together, open our own little private
I'm
gyms.
like, man, but yeah, I gotta get back in the gym. I can't wait to open back.
You know what I found out? It's a really good workout, and it's gonna sound crazy because I'm sure everybody's like, "Nah, that is like just jumping rope." Just jump, just
walking for me is walking to the mailbox and walking out these steps. I'm like, man, like I took my son jogging this morning at like 8:00, and I'm riding a bike, and I'm like, go ahead.
Frank, how many pounds are you down since this?
I ain't down, I'm up. Y'all going down, I'm going up. I can't. Every time I try to like walk or like somebody asks me to do something, I'm like, what? Like my activities drop very, very low, man.
Yeah, got all that extra weight on you. Yeah, bro.
Just very, I think my legs are just done from running. Like,
yeah. I mean, some of you guys, just I'm at the house doing home workouts. I'm down. Well, when it started, I went up to like 193, and now I'm down to like 181. So I'm down. I'm down about 12 pounds. But just trying to wait this thing out. I mean, I'm getting a little cabin fever, but I don't want to go out there and risk myself and risking other people sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even though like, I know, I mean, we're all, in quote unquote in shape. We all was somewhat athletic, so we may be asymptomatic, but that's still the risk of putting other people in danger that I'm more afraid of than anything.
I agree.
My mom, she keeps trying to get up here, and she's over 60, so I'm like, nah, mom, just wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay where you at. There's no rush. I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully you won't. We could just talk on the phone, but she's normally used to coming up for the summer. She can't, so it's just like just sit there, and we'll see how this thing go. But just looking into which is why we had Joe speak on cryptocurrency. I'm looking into the Bitcoin. Thanks, Frank, for shooting that information over to me. So just trying to get everything squared away. Portfolios and life insurances and things like that. Just because now that I'm 41, it's just like I got to make sure I got everything set for the kids and and the family if anything was to not necessarily go wrong, but just to make sure that they're set for the long run. All right, well, that was good. Now let's get into some little trending topics. I mean, I know you guys all probably heard that talking about removing a lot of these Confederate statues around the nation. E, what's your thoughts on that, man? Because I know you really wanted to,
especially down south.
I tell you, I mean, it's been a huge movement out here, especially in our region. There's a lot of people that are protesting in regards to these statues being removed. My thoughts on it, I mean, quite frankly, if it's going to be something that is going to continue to hinder and tarnish and make more uncomfortable the people, no matter what color you are, then it shouldn't be there. Point blank and simple. If it's something that is going to consistently be a memory of a bad reminiscence of slavery, no matter which way you want to look at it, no matter how you want to twist it, or however which way it turns, then take it down or do something else with it, or put it inside of a museum or whatever if you want. If it's so important to American history, if you want to go that far, make a proper museum for it. or do something else. But to sit here and to make it
That'd be funny though. A proper museum for like Confederate. That's like a KKK having. I'm just saying, it's like funny to see like a KKK museum. Like, you be like, what?
Well, I mean, I'm saying it in a generalization because
Yeah, I know.
at the same time, I have to look at it from both sides of the situation because I don't know what everybody else is thinking. I know from the perspective from the outsider looking in. Yeah, it's to the black community. It's a symbolism of slavery. Absolutely. I have no. You're not going to hear me argue with you about that at all. Other people are looking at it as from somebody that's my family relative who fought in this war feels some kind of way about it as well. I particularly don't like that. Don't like the whole meaning of the whole North and South and the Confederacy. In my opinion, you want to do something for me? You want, in my opinion, take the shit down and leave it alone. Don't fuck with it no more. End of story. That's me. But other people don't look at it that way, and people have different views of it. But if you're going to do something with it where it's not going to insult and it's not going to continue to be a hinder and an eyesore and a bad memory to people of color, no matter what it is. I don't feel like that's something that needs to be brought up, and it's a bad memory, it's a bad sign. So here, what they did in Portsmouth was they literally ripped down, the statues, and I thought, somebody got hurt. It hit somebody in the head. And that person was literally on life support and was in a coma for 2 days. Now, thankfully, from what I've heard so far, he may pull out of it, but it's bad. It's bad. He could have died. Now, yeah, I understand that. And there's other places around in Richmond that are doing the same thing. And there was a big statue in the middle of Norfolk. I don't know what statue that is, but it's a really big statue in downtown Norfolk, and it's about 80 feet high. And they were like, don't even think about even coming over. Somebody in City Hall was like, don't even come out here and try to knock this down because it's 80 feet high. Somebody's going to get hurt. But they're trying to have a public hearing saying that how are they going to plan to take that statue down. In Richmond, they're doing the same thing where the statues need to be coming down. In Kentucky, there's places that are being thinking about taking statues down. So you have a bunch of states in the South that are starting to take heed about what's going on with this, and statues are coming down. Not even here. We're talking about abroad. In certain places in France, and I think I saw something in England where there's certain statues from Parliament that were being taken down because of that were about that had to do with the colonization of slavery or some sort like that. I may be inaccurate when I say it. There were statues and monuments that were being taken down abroad. So this is not something that's happening in the U.S. This is something that's happening overseas as well. So the whole movement of this whole George Floyd situation is not only happening here, it's happening overseas as well. And this is a situation now that what we spoke about 2 weeks ago, that like you said, Frank, you wanted to see action. Well, now you're getting it. You're starting to see the repercussions of this situation at hand. I also read the other day, this may be a sore, but the guy, the gentleman that killed George Floyd, might be receiving a pension because he's a police officer. He might be able to still receive pension for being a police officer, in the remnants of maybe $1 million. So that means that if he gets fired and they find him guilty, he still gets a pension of $50,000 a year for the remaining time that he was an officer. So even though you might have, as I say, you might have won the war, but you didn't lose the battle. That's how people in that community feel. Like, oh yeah, well, guess what? You might have fucked us over here, but that's not how it feels. And that's the same thing that happened with those 2 officers, where they pushed the guy in Buffalo, and all those officers, they quit. Same situation. You might have beat us over here, but we still got you over here. So again, this is a situation that is far from over.
Yeah.
And and there's a lot more things that are going to continue to happen, and the monuments are just there's more things to come, but the monuments here and the statues are big thing that black people here are definitely not comfortable with, along with everybody else that's out here. Anybody else that doesn't agree with the whole symbolization of the Confederacy. They're standing hand in hand with black people in regards to saying this is not going to happen. We're not going to do that, and it's no longer acceptable.
Okay. Frank.
Yeah,
Very great.
No, go ahead.
no, like for me, I'm just gonna speak how I feel about it. Me personally, I feel as though the federal government should make the flag illegal just off of treason.
Mhm.
They try to dissolve the United States and try to take over it. So
Mhm.
they were fighting against the United States. So for the flag to be flown, and when you see it, you'll see
Confederate
pictures.
flag.
So, yeah, the Confederate flag. So you'll see
Right.
people holding the Confederate flag wearing an American shirt with an American flag, and it's like, well, no, they're diametrically opposed. They one wanted to take over the other. Like you can't be both. You can't be like, you know what I mean? So for me, if you really want to just quell the problem, you make it anything referring to them as far as flag, statues, is
Mhm.
okay. It's illegal. And you don't make it illegal just because of like banned materials, because free speech, you won't be able to do it. But if you make it because of treason, now you can now you're making people have to make a choice. Like, are you going to hold on to this that if we have acknowledged is we like, because if you go to Germany, they made swastikas illegal over there because of what the history was. So you can't sit there and it's nah. You don't get museums, you don't get statues, you don't get none of that.
Right.
They
Right.
teach the history of exactly what happened. Hey, this they did some nasty crap,
Yeah.
and we don't ever want that to be repeated. So to me, you make it illegal, you make it a treason. So this way, you see somebody with it, hey man, like you legal with it. You know what I'm saying? You legal with having that flag on a hat, a shirt, your body,
And it's been
even like
longer too. It's a longer period of time than Hitler too. That's the crazy thing.
exactly.
You know?
So and a lot of the statues were put up by the Daughters of the Confederacy. So it wasn't put up by the government. It was like a separate party putting them, paying
Yep.
for it to go up. So it was like it was like cities were getting free statues, and who's not going to say no to a free statue? But at the same time, if it was illegal in the first place, then it would have never, like, they wouldn't have put it up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's just how I feel on it. I just feel as though it should be illegal. It should be. It shouldn't even be. Shouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah, it's a mixed feeling. I mean, I wonder who started this whole, moving, the statues and everything like this. Probably the millennials. You know how they've been acting lately, like get rid of everything. They got,
Racism, it has to do with negativity. They just want to
yeah, but
keep going.
I think,
But
but
I like
if you,
I like that.
yeah, I do too. But I just think like over time, like you gotta look at it as our mothers, our fathers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers. Yeah, we know what it meant, but it's like we can like we see it, but we just look past it. You know what I mean? For so many years, and I think now it's just like these millennials now is just like, yo, take everything down. Like we're starting trying to be fresh, like, and it's just
But
it's just crazy, like how they're just bringing everything down. Like even when we tried to do it back then, like they're like, no.
Well, I mean, it's with the social media age now, man. Like,
Yeah, the
their voices,
millennials, man,
you know. So,
they understand.
and I think a lot of it is when people look up. Like now, you could only be on your phone, be next to
Yeah,
the statue, look up the name on the statue, read about the atrocities the person may or may not have committed, and go,
yeah.
well, why you got like
yeah,
literally, like, why we wouldn't put a statue up of Bin Laden, we wouldn't put a statue up of Jeffrey Dahmer, we wouldn't put a statue up of these dudes, But you got statues of these guys, and people are sitting there like, oh, well, they were good men. Whoa, how?
Yeah.
Like,
'cause remember, like, that's why. But that's why I said, Greg, like for us, our generation and the generation, before us, we just been in the still where we just like we look past it. Like we knew the history, everything like that. We had something to hold on to. You know what I mean? It's like now these millennials, like I said before, when me and you was talking, like they have nothing to hold on to. So they're like, when they research and they look at it, like they start to question, like, why you got this up? Like, why would you have this represent America? And it's just like they just got a voice where they're just like speaking out, and like with us and the generation before
It
us.
was also a different time because 20, 30 years ago,
yeah,
they wouldn't have cared. They would like
yeah,
with schools into like towns. It's like, oh, you don't like it, move out. Go move somewhere else that don't have the statues.
yeah.
But now everybody realized, hey, if I got the statue up, kids ain't gonna want to go to college here.
Yeah.
We got the statue up, people ain't gonna want to move here. Hold on, wait a second. We don't want to be known as that town. We gotta take this down because it's gonna affect our bottom line.
And that's the crazy thing. They got all the communities now, and mixing in, and they're like, hold up.
But and to me, that's the good thing about society. Like if it's that way, and people generally do care, and they do want these signs taken down. That's why my hope is that they will make it illegal to fly it. Kudos to I think we going to talk about it later, but like NASCAR banning it, like
Pump it all in. Yep, NASCAR did doing it. Yeah,
like that's big because it makes people have to check themselves and go, wait a second, like you're gonna be mad, but why are they banning it? And you're gonna hear a whole bunch of different versions of, well, like we know it's for slavery, but if you talk to people down south, oh, it's states' rights. Oh, it's about. I read today. One gentleman was trying to say, oh well, if you read it, it's about taxes.
Yeah. Was it that NASCAR guy? Was it that NASCAR guy?
There was a NASCAR guy that retired, but no, it wasn't him. It was just a gentleman that he put up the article. He's like, well, if you read it, it's about taxes. I'm like, it'll be whatever it's about. It was still treasonous behavior. Doesn't matter what it's about. It could have been over like the U.S. government had a monopoly on cheese. Who cares? They try to succeed from the government to institute their own. So
their own laws.
Nah, like it's no matter what the reason, it was treason. So
Yep. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like we said, we was talking about. I mean, that to me, that all goes together. Like turning down the statues, and like you said, kudos to NASCAR for banning that flag finally. I agree, Greg. I think that flag should be made illegal. I think anything that has to do with that period or that particular facet should be considered treason. It should, because they promoted racism. You know what I mean? They wanted it to stay the way. They wanted Black people to continue to be slaves and less than a man and things like that. So getting rid of all that.
Not to cut you off, right? I just want to you could just take a picture of what what the U.S. is today. So the northern states industrialized. They made factories. They modernized, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the section that fought to have free labor? Look at them. Some of the poorest states in the country are in that area. You know what I mean? Or down south. It's because they did not want to do the work. They wanted somebody else to do the work. And that's how they were raised from start to finish. And that's why even today, like, they don't have, and I'm not trying to be mean to them. I'm not trying to, but
I think
you won't succeed till you put that work in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and that's the crazy. Yeah, that's a perfect example because my dad, he's in South Carolina and I go down there a lot, and it still looks like Rosewood in those areas. Like it's crazy. Like you got Charleston, which is still getting built up, and then when you go outside of Charleston, like Hollywood and like Beaufort, it's a totally different scene, and it's just like they still stuck in that mindset. Even the people nowadays are still stuck in this mindset, and it's just like you just see the difference because you got Atlanta that's came, that's brought up very well.
Yeah.
North Carolina, Charlotte, like that area is coming up.
They industrialized though. They
Right,
industrialized.
yeah,
They were listening. They made together. But I think what's North Carolina is really big with furniture as far as producing furniture for the country. So like they.
Yeah, and North Carolina is the banking industry, especially. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, good points, fellas. All right. Well, let's end it on something that we all like to talk about. Which, I mean, we talk about everything, but let's end it on a little sports talk. 40 to 50 NBA players are torn. They kind of don't want to play. They're between not playing or or staying home. Do you agree with them, or do you want them to suck it up and play so we can get some basketball going? Frank, let's go with you first.
I mean, what's the difference between y'all not don't want to go to the gym and them playing?
Well, because first of all,
because you don't want to. For me, that's probably what they think about. For me, it's more of it's just hard to see, take a break, come back, and then it's like they know the whole pandemic and everything going on. It's like, do they really want to touch somebody else? Like, it's just a whole, like I said, it's a whole lot that's in play, and it's like, and you guys are like, no, they need to do it for the money, but it's like, yeah, but at the same time, when the gym open up, are you guys going to the gym?
No, because we're not getting paid to go.
Hold on. But let me just say that. But let me say that.
Hey, they get paid.
Like,
let somebody let me be sweaty and back you up, and you be like, yo, hold up, time out.
No, but Frank, they getting tested every day.
Right, still.
They get but like, see, like I haven't been tested. I haven't been tested once. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so like you got doctors on hand to make sure everybody's good, and as soon as like it's going to be like escorted out of the club type stuff. Somebody test positive, okay, you could take it this way, sir. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna have them have somebody in some kind of like room or something.
But like I said, it's a mindset though. It's a mindset. Like if somebody got the ball and they push you, they sweaty as hell, and they back in and touch you, you're like, hold up.
But you know how that is. You could not feel good, start playing, and you just get in the mood. Like,
I don't know, man.
And
but like you said, like you and Rock said, I think it's more for the money aspect of it, but for the players, I can see it. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. Like to get.
I wouldn't say. I agree with you. It's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult, man.
I would just say, like, for me, I would just say, yo, like, hey, if you're cool with the ramifications of it, because the ramifications are gonna be long lasting. So that's the thing. Like, you don't go back. There's no playoff money, no TV money, no. So all that revenue that was gonna push the cap up, push salaries up.
But what I'm saying is money wise.
I know, but at the same time, like athletes have a finite amount of years to make the most money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So while LeBron can have a 17, 18, 20-year career, like Joe Smo, who is going to be playing 3 years, you just lost 2 to 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that means something for some of these cats. So it's like, well, some of these guys are I ain't making no NBA salary. I'm missing mine. Like going out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But any decision that they make is I respect whatever they want to do. I would hope, because I want to see it, but if they choose not to for their own health, I have no judgment.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said before, with these players nowadays, mindset is it's attention span is very, very low. But like, it's difficult to be in a situation where you're in a pandemic. Do you play? You don't have fans. Every day is a test because it's like a whole quarantine thing that's going on.
But don't you
it's
think
tough,
that
man.
helps, Tom? But don't you
No,
think
because
that
I mean,
helps? Because I've been.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking of situations that I've been in, like in college, where in high school, where it's like when you don't do your normal routine, like you know, this thing that you do before games, stuff like
Mm.
that.
Oh no, I
Um,
get you. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or like your bus is late in college and you get rushed to go change, and you're like, all right, gotta get ready. Like that
No,
stuff.
and yeah. I
That
was just
all
saying
that
like
stuff takes.
if I couldn't do my routine in the game, like I get it. Everybody
Yeah,
has a routine, but at the same
So,
time, like
so
sometimes you gotta make a new routine, or
but
you
it's
trick
what I'm
your
saying.
mind into a different routine. You
Right,
gotta
yeah. But
play
I'm
where
saying
your head a little bit.
a lot of players can't do that. You know what I mean? Even what I mean, I play basketball a lot, and it's like I have to be in that right state of mind to actually play. And then it's like if I'm not in that state of mind, it's going to take a while, like probably throughout the game.
Mm.
And sometimes I don't get there, But it's like I said, it's tough, man. I'm just thinking it's for me, it would be tough to
okay,
play in a
okay.
situation like that, just because there's just so much going on, and every day is something, it's something new. Because even like when I bodybuild now, and like every show is different. Like one show might be okay, this is what you guys doing. Then you get on stage, you got enough time like to pump up and then get on stage, and then sometimes it's like you got you got like 2 minutes to pump, and then you hit the stage. So you know what I
Mm.
mean. So it's like every day is something new, and you're like, I'm trying to get on point. I'm trying to get on, on a routine, but it's like, and I know every day is going to be different for them. It's not going to be the same
Yeah,
routine,
Mm.
and that's going
yeah,
to be the
yeah.
difficult part.
But
And
that's
you
why
can
I
probably,
think it's going to be a more mental championship.
yeah,
Like it'd be a more
mm-hmm,
of a mental grind championship. Like who has like the mental fortitude to
mm-hmm. And it's
just
going to
stick
be the
with it.
oldest players.
It would say
All
Mm-hmm.
right, all
it
right, all
could.
right.
Yeah.
Let's get E in here. Last couple minutes, E. Let's get you in here because we can go on hours about that. What do you think, man, about the season? Players being torn.
Um, I'll be honest. If and this is just me speaking personally, if I wouldn't mind not having a season. Like I don't think we should even have a season at this point. It's
And that's
too
because you're
late.
last
It's
fantasy.
Yo,
too late.
just mute him, Rock, mute him.
I'll be honest. It's too
Mute this
late
dude,
in the
man.
season to have a season.
It's
It's too much
2-2.
going on to have a season. It's too late to have a season. It's too much going on to have a season. You're trying to force a season to happen. You're trying to figure out stuff to still happen. Just. I mean, I know everybody wants to see basketball. I know everybody
Why do
wants
you
to
say
see
it's too
sports.
late though?
Because by the time you figure everything out, right, and by the time we start actually getting the basketball on the court, you have to think about what's going to happen next year. Now, when you try to figure out what's going to happen next year, it's a chain reaction to next year's season. How is next year's season going to play into? How's the next year's schedule going to be affected? How are the playoffs going to be affected?
But hold on,
How do you
let me
score?
ask,
Let me
hold on,
finish.
let me
I
ask.
mean, I'm sure there's going to be a way that the NBA is going to figure out how to cram everything in, because that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to probably cram everything into a shorter schedule and try to figure it out to where we're going to get back on the normal schedule like we had before. But instead of trying to do all that while we're still in the middle of this and still trying to figure out how are we going to live while we're living with this COVID, and still try to do all this and still try to have players come in and have players disagree on whether they want to play. I don't know if I should play, or what are the circumstances of us playing, or I want to be with my team but I don't want to play. Like all these circumstances on what we call in my business what's called the unforeseen circumstance. Yo, scratch the season.
Yeah.
Scratch the season, bro. Scratch the season. I know everybody wants to get money. I know people that are players that want to have time to be playing, but what does you have to ask yourself? What is more important here? Your life or
Let
fucking
me just
paycheck?
pose a question for it. Let me just pose a question to you. Like, what if the NBA wanted to do a reset on a season, whereas though they don't have to compete with the NFL for like what 3 months? Like
Mhm.
they go from NFL playoffs, which they know they're gonna lose, but they get you talking about if they do this, they play now, start like December, they take everything into August. You know what I'm saying? So that season now they got July, August, which are usually what dead sports months. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Nobody's sitting there watching baseball. They could do
Mhm.
a reset for their league and literally control that block of time where they got everything. it's a bit like to me. I think that what they're trying to do is maybe set themselves up for it. I don't know if they're gonna keep it, but I think that they're looking. They'll look to see if they like that December 1st start. If they do come back, because to them, I think it's more money. Because think about it, the NFL owns like the fall into the beginning of the winter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if the NBA can get a foothold like that, like, man, like, you know what I mean? I think.
Again, I'm gonna just say this real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off, but you also have to consider this: next year begins the Olympics, so the Olympics come into play next year, and you have to have all these players from the different countries.
They don't have to.
No, you're right. They don't have to.
They don't have to. They
don't have to. But these players are more than likely are going to want to play for their respective countries than to go play for the NBA. That's a fact. That's a fact. And so of course, when you're dealing with the Olympics, now you're dealing with the ratings. People are going to want to watch the Olympics, or are you going to compete with the Olympics on that level?
Mm-hmm.
These are things that are all have to come into consideration when you talk about the grand scheme of it all, which is the dollar bill. And at the end of the day, I think
it is higher ratings than Olympics.
If they're not going to make, if you got to make money. If you're going to lose money to try to gain only a small percentage of money back, they rather as well say, you know what, I'd rather not do it. And then you got to think about how you're going to compete with it next year, and how you're going to do that when you got the biggest world event coming into play, which is the Olympics. So there's a lot of stuff that's riding on this year. I know you don't, but other people watch other events that are happening in the Olympics.
That's what I'm saying. I watch everything else, but
it's the ratings. It's the ratings of the Olympics that are going to take over basketball. So you're going to be competing against
basketball.
Because you may not. You may, but it's not. It's not. You're not saying. I understand. But usually the NBA doesn't have to compete with that stuff, and now it's going to. And when you look at it from that perspective, is it worth even trying? You're going to wind up losing possibly 2 years if they actually think about it. If they don't play this year and they say, well, let's scratch next year too.
Because Olympics happen every 4 years, so
right.
So
and they pushed it this year. Because they pushed it this year. It was supposed to be this summer.
Yeah.
They pushed it.
But like what Greg was saying, like, I mean, I could see that, and if they want to do that, I mean, reset it in the beginning of the season. I don't have no problem with that. But now you got to say, just like you, Greg, said, when your coach asks you, you got to take Christmas break off, and you were like, nah. Now you got to tell these players, you got to have no summer. They're like, hold up, no summer? My summer gonna be
already had it. But they already had it.
But I'm just saying.
You gotta remember,
but you're saying if they reset though. But if they reset, that summer.
Yeah, because 22 teams are gonna play. There's 8 teams that aren't playing. So there's 8 teams that aren't gonna play until December 1st.
But I thought you were saying I thought you were saying that they were gonna start. I mean, try to take that toe where they take those blocks for the summer.
Yeah, I'm saying like when they start that next block, you got a team, you got 8 teams that they haven't played since March.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about that. So you can't. While there's some guys that the teams from the finals, they're gonna have complaints because they're gonna be like, yo, we only get a month turnaround. It's like we're being punished. But the rest of the league haven't been playing since like October or September.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a normal complaints teams who made the finals. Having where they season goes a lot.
But what I'm saying though, Frank, is that like money wise for the league as a whole going forward, if they really trying to put a foothold, like that's how you do it.
It would be good. It would be good for them to get that, that block. But it's like now you got to shift everything over. Now the summer is like later on in the wintertime, so everybody's going to the islands.
But that's why the time is now to play these games out now. Mm-hmm. So this way you have a reason to do it. Because if you don't, you could just start in October. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to push your season.
Yeah. Good points. Good points. All right. Well, that was another great episode, fellas. We're going to try to keep it at a certain time. Because we can go for hours like we normally pause. We can go talking about certain things for hours like we normally do. But before we go, we want to give a shout out to our fellow brother Joe, who can be here taking care of some family obligations, and Whit, same thing. But you guys be safe out there, and then, you know.
All right, fellas.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody have a good night.
You too, man.
Honor signing off. Till next time, fellas.
All right.
Hello.
Shalom.